Hello, deck builders, and welcome to Decks of Dexterity Speedrunning. This video is meant to be sort of a short guide to get yourself into speedrunning. It's not meant to be anything comprehensive or go over anything too deep in terms of strategies. Decks of Dexterity in its current form is not a very optimized game. It has been a while since the first Dex speedrunning competition, and I'm sure there's a lot of things in the current game that I don't know about, or things I used to do, skips and tricks and general strategies I used to do that don't work anymore. So I really kind of want to leave it up to you to find those strategies and those things for yourself. And if you do happen to find those things, please let us know in the DeX Discord. If you're not already a part of it, it'll be linked in the description. And you can go ahead and you can look for... I'm looking for the key, but you can go ahead and you can look for the correct channels where you can talk about those things, general speedrunning, wherever. Or if you just want to talk about anything cool you found, you can go ahead and do that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically resetting. So I'm trying to get a really good path to the boss. Like I said, I'm looking for the key, and a little tip for you if you didn't know this is you can actually tell which chest has the key inside of it. So look at all these chests. You notice how they all look the same except for this one, right? It has a double border around it. What that basically means is that this chest 100% guarantees it has the key inside of it. 100% of the time, it will be inside that chest. And that works wonders, because that means that we can pretty much have a fixed path in our head of where we need to go in order to get to the boss. So what we're looking for here, at least for me, I've gotten most of my runs optimized to the point where I want either a 2 or a 3 to the boss, which basically refers to how many enemies are between me and the boss right now. So I'll just keep resetting over and over again, kind of using this fly-in to see. Let's count right here, right? Let's count our best pass. We have 1 enemy, exchange, enemy, chest, question mark, enemy, boss. So 4, maybe even 5 enemies to the boss. That's pretty bad. But if we did want to continue on this run for whatever sadistic reason, we can just go ahead and hit escape here, quit out of the game, and when we go back in, our timer will reset to 0. Current Decks of Dexterity does actually use the in-game timer. That might be changed in the future, I don't know, but right now, all the runs you submit to the leaderboard use this timer, and you can also do this on the second floor as well. So when you get to the second floor, look for where the chest is, remember it's a double border, map out what you're going to do ahead of time, and then just quit, go back in, you know where you're going, just do it as fast as you can. The other thing I want to go over really quickly with you guys is your settings, right? So the most important setting to have enabled is Sanic mode. Sanic mode is basically going to enable you to, or it's going to skip a lot of the animations. The animations are going to go a lot faster. It's going to enable you to go through the game very fast. It's going to skip the majority of the animations, and it's going to make dialogue go by super fast. Dialogue will just kind of autocomplete rather than you having to click or do anything. The other setting I'm going to mess with, actually, let me show you this in a fight really quick. Let's go ahead, let's get into a fight, is our FPS. So right now I have my FPS unlocked and disabled. Now if I do go ahead and I do turn it on, we can kind of tell, you see how even in the background you can see how things start slowing down almost immediately. Now, I'm not sure if the game still works this way. This is the way it used to work, at least, was that bullet speed was tied to FPS. So if you look at this, this is pretty damn slow. It's kind of abysmally slow. And then if we go ahead here and we turn fixed FPS back off, turn this back to unlocked, everything starts moving a lot faster, which is very cool. Now, part of the problem, or part of the reason this is happening, is because VSync is enabled. So if we go ahead and disable VSync, but then put fixed FPS back on, so now we're back on 120, but things are still moving relatively the same, right? Kind of just, if you really didn't want to take damage here, you could actually wait for this to pass by you, but we're just going to hit it, and then it's going to do damage to us. Well, actually, we could probably, no, we couldn't. Anyways, the other thing you can do is if you want to keep fixed FPS, and you want to keep VSync on for whatever reason, I would keep the game at 60 FPS, as even here, the game moves generally pretty fast, moves pretty much the same. But if we go ahead, why am I forgetting about this? If we go ahead and we set it to 120, you'll notice things start to slow down pretty drastically again. So in my experience, I would recommend either keeping the game uncapped. This is what I personally do, since at least back in the day, bullet speed was actually tied to frame rate. with diminishing returns, of course. Though I'm not sure if that's still how it works. Or if you don't want to do that, because the problem with this, it does cause some problems. Having really high FPS just breaks some things in the game sometimes, which can get annoying. As you can keep fixed FPS at 60, though I would recommend disabling VSync. That's basically it as far as the settings go. One other thing I do want to point out, kind of like a general tip. Again, I don't really want to tell you how to play the game, but one other thing I would keep an eye out for is the robot quest. So the robot quest, basically, it's a robot, and he'll ask you to go find his missing parts, right? I'm not sure if the missing parts are in a random chest, or the first non-key chest you find, but one of the chests you open that isn't a key chest, so you see none of these have the extra border, so one of these has to be, none of these are the key chest. One of these has to be the chest that holds the robot's spare parts inside of it. And when you bring the spare parts back to the robot, he'll give you a card called Self-Destruct, which is an insane card. Basically, when you die, it gives you your health back, and it shoots out a bunch of bullets. And it is a bunch of bullets. I've one-shot the Floor 2 boss with Self-Destruct before, multiple times. It does a lot of damage. And Floor 2, it's very important, because the Floor 2 boss can take upwards of a minute, if not longer, to kill. It is a very beefy boss, and it's going to be very annoying, and the ability to instantly kill it like that has let me steal the world record from people before, or even how I got a lot of my current world record times. So Robot Quest is very helpful. It's almost even worth going out of your way to try to get some chests, even if they aren't helping you get the key for the boss, just to be able to finish that quest. And I think that's pretty much it as far as tips and tricks go. Everything else, again, I want to leave to you guys to figure out and think for yourself. I think that's one of the funnest parts of speedrunning. So yeah, good luck, deck builders.